He ended up inviting me over the day before this happened. And I was like, no, like, I don't want to hang out with you alone. If we hang out, it's going to be with other people and out and about. So then he had proceeded to tell me that him and some other promoters were going to get together. And how he worded it was, we're going to pregame here at my place and then we're going to go out. So I'm thinking we is a group, you and your promoters, and you're inviting me to that. That was not the case. I showed up and then realized it was just me and him. A lot of people in the comments have been like, well, if you noticed these red flags, why did you stay? At the time, it wasn't anything that I was just overthinking, and not saying that I shouldn't have been. But again, y'all have to understand my mindset. I wasn't in a place to even overthink that because I had so much on my mind. There was no room for overthinking, for no putting like stuff past somebody. Like I'm literally projecting so much that I wouldn't do these things, so nobody else would do these things. And I'm in good hands for whatever reason at the time. Now, looking back on it, I can be like, okay, like, yeah, I should have left and all that. But even with saying that, there's so many situations where girls turn down men, reject men, try to leave situations, and they're assaulted, hurt, kidnapped, killed. Like, there is no right way to reject a man nowadays, because you can reject them now and then them hurt you then, or you can give them your information, meet up with them so that you're not rejecting them then for your safety, and then your safety is then jeopardized if you do meet up with them, give them their information. Like, there is no win with a man approaching you. You literally have to walk on the thinnest of ice, and that's terrifying.
When you're speaking of that promoter, how did you meet him, and what do you feel his intentions were upon meeting him?
Oh, he definitely wanted to fuck with me. He definitely wanted to, like, he was not on the terms of coming out and promoting with me. He was more so of, I think you're attractive. I want to get to know you. What's your information? I told him I was good. I had met him out at a club called Bitter End. It could still be that name, but that's where I met him. And I was like, no, like, I'm good. And he was like, well, like, hold on, like, I'm a promoter. Like, you can, like, come out and promote with me and stuff like that. And so I'm like, oh, okay, well, sure. Like, I was in, like, getting introduced to the nightlife promoters and stuff like that. So I was just like, oh, okay, cool. Like, a promoter wants me to come out with him. Like, that's kind of like cool to me. Like, okay, cool. Like, I'm going to get promoted. I'm going to be able to go out, have my girls come with me, whoever, get in for free, get free drinks. Like, like, I was a part of the nightlife. So that's cool to me for nothing, in my head for nothing. And so then, yeah, so he invited me over. I realized nobody was there. I immediately, like, addressed that, like, like, hey, like, I told you I didn't want to be alone with you. Like, basically, like, what the fuck? Like, why is nobody here? And he was like, oh, no, like, it was a misunderstanding. Like, when I said we, like, I meant me and you. So, like, yeah, like, it's just going to be me and you until we go out. And then he proceeded to go on with being like he was still getting ready and, like, he was okay. And I got dropped off there. A lot of people are like, well, why didn't you leave? Why didn't you Uber back home and all that stuff? You have to understand where my mind was.